What's up, guys? The Snowman here. Extremely excited today because the 4th edition of the Laver Cup is right around the corner. If you're not familiar with the competition, it's an annual men's tennis team event that pits Team Europe against Team World. This year, the event is taking place in Boston over the span of 3 days. None of the big three are going to be there, but still plenty of stars headlining this event. So I want to go through all the matchups and preview this 2021 Laver Cup. And I mentioned it's the 4th edition of the Laver Cup. A quick recap of what happened the first 3 years. Back in 2017 in Prague, it was Team Europe taking the inaugural title. We got to see Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal play some doubles together, and then Fed saved match point in the clincher against Nick Kyrgios to give the Europeans the glory. In 2018, the venue switched over to Chicago. Team Europe too strong again, especially with the singles matches. Federer teaming up with Djokovic that time as Alexander Zverev knocked off two-time Grand Slam finalist Kevin Anderson in the final match of the event. 2 years ago, Team Europe made it a perfect 3-for-3 in Geneva, but that might have been the closest call yet. Team World holding an 11-7 point advantage on day 3. Then it was Fed's turn to be clutch again. Zverev clinched the title for the second consecutive year, that time over Milos Raonic in a match tiebreak. So there's a lot on the line as we turn our attention to this weekend's action in Boston. It was postponed from last year due to COVID. Team World, led by Captain John McEnroe, they desperately want to break their duck and earn Laver Cup bragging rights for the first time. Meanwhile, Team Europe has reinforced their roster with some of the most elite players in the world. Bjorn Borg's men would love to make it 4-for-4 in the brief history of this unique competition. And looking at Team Europe, it's a unit devoid of the big three. Federer, unfortunately, out with a knee injury, and Nadal out as well with a foot issue. Both of their seasons are over. Djokovic taking some time off. However, Team Europe packs a punch with 6 players in the top 10 of the ATP rankings. That's right, their worst player, Casper Ruud, is still the number 10 player in the world right now. Daniil Medvedev is coming off the biggest title of his career, that first major at the US Open, upsetting Djokovic in straight sets. Medvedev will make his debut at the Laver Cup with loads of confidence. World number 3 in this year's French Open finalist, Stefanos Tsitsipas, is back representing Team Europe. Alexander Zverev, another player full of confidence coming off the gold medal at the Olympics and a semifinal run in New York. Team Europe also has world number 5, Andrei Rublev, this year's Wimbledon finalist in Matteo Berrettini, and the aforementioned Casper Ruud. Then on the other hand, Team World has often been at a disadvantage in terms of rankings and talent on paper, but they bring 4 guys in the top 20, and that's not even including the 4-year Laver Cup veteran Nick Kyrgios. Kyrgios and Zverev set to become the only 2 guys to play at all 4 Laver Cups thus far. For Team World, it's also the 2 Canadians as the top 2 ranked players, Felix Auger-Aliassime and one of my favorites, Denis Shapovalov. FAA coming off a semifinal showing at the US Open where his run was halted by Medvedev. The serve bots will be out in full force for Team World 2. 6'11" Riley Opelka and 6'10" John Isner, the 2 Americans chosen by Johnny Mack. And they also have the much shorter 5'7" Argentine Diego Schwartzman. So a little bit of everything as the very hungry Team World tries to make some history in Boston. If you need a reminder of the Laver Cup format, please check out my Laver Cup Explained video for greater details, but it's a format that I really enjoy. A 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 matches played each day. That's 3 singles and 1 doubles match. Matches are a bit shorter, best of 3, but with add scoring and a 10-point match tiebreak instead of a third set. All 6 players must play at least 1 singles match, and 4 of the 6 must compete in a doubles match. And I especially love how the scoring works. It's the first team to 13 points that wins the Laver Cup. For the 4 matches on Friday, if you win, you get 1 point. Then the matches become more important on Saturday when they're worth 2 points each, and on Sunday a win equals 3 points. I think it's a format where the drama really builds, the tension lasts right until the final match. As for the matchups and analysis of this week's action, I imagine things should come down to the final match yet again. The roadmap to success for Team Europe is simple. They've got the better players. They always arrive with more talent. However, can they gel cohesively in a short period of time? These are players, especially with Medvedev, Tsitsipas, and Zverev, that are used to battling against each other, sometimes in extremely chippy conditions. who could forget Medvedev's rant to the Greek in Miami 3 years ago, or Zverev fuming regarding Tsitsipas's elongated bathroom break in Cincinnati just a month ago. So I can't wait to watch these guys be forced to work together. The roadmap to success for Team World is a bit trickier. Not as many household names, but they at least bring some firepower, some big serving with Opelka and Isner, both in the top 4 this season in terms of ace percentage and service hold percentage. Shapo and Kyrgios will bring the heat on serve as well. And what I've admired about Team World in past Laver Cups is their team chemistry and overall camaraderie. It does seem like Nick Kyrgios is a fantastic leader in that regard. The energy on the bench and in the Boston crowd is going to be rocking. When you look at the head-to-head records for Team Europe versus Team World, no surprise, mostly positive records for the Europeans and sub-500 records for Team World. A few notes here. Medvedev predictably with the best record against Team World. He's 15-5, including a perfect 6-0 against Diego Schwartzman. I do see Schwartzman struggling in this environment on an indoor hard court where all of his opponents will have an advantage in firepower. He's the weakest link to me. Zverev with a really strong record versus Team World 2. The German 18-12 in his career. You have to think that on day 3, that trio of Zverev, Tsitsipas, and Medvedev, they'll be the guys on court that Bjorn Borg chooses when the matches mean the most. On the other side, not a ton of optimism for Team World's records. Auger-Aliassime has struggled with just a 6-16 mark. Shapovalov and Kyrgios, the only two guys with positive head-to-heads. And just to add on with Kyrgios, he enters this event with a world ranking of 95, easily the worst of any player competing. But we know that Nick is a big match player. He was built for a tournament like this. Kyrgios 2-0 all-time versus Medvedev, including the 2019 Washington final when Medi began his hot streak. 2-0 versus Tsitsipas, including a 3 tie-break thriller at the ATP Cup last year, and 5-3 against Zverev. Nick has a positive record against all 3 of those guys, so he'll definitely be out there on day 3. I guess Shapovalov, maybe Riley Opelka joins them too, but Team World only stands a chance if Nick is playing his A game. Overall, I see this being a super tight Laver Cup. I haven't seen the odds, but I'm sure Team Europe is the slim betting favorite. Team World is going to have to handle their business and win at least 2, maybe all 3 of the doubles matches to have a chance. I think the lack of Federer, Nadal, or even an old veteran like Jeremy Chardy might hurt Team Europe. The oldest player on Team Europe is Medvedev at age 25, although I should mention they will have Feliciano Lopez as an alternate, Jack Sock the alternate for Team World. If I had to make a prediction, I'd pick Team Europe, maybe by a score of like 14-10. Medvedev and Zverev are just in such sizzling form at the moment, but I definitely see it coming down to the last match. Team World should be the hungrier side, and they've got a true puncher's chance. It's going to be a fantastic entertainment for sure. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know who you think is going to win this year's Laver Cup. If you want more tennis content and preview videos, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. Be on the lookout for my ATP and WTA year-end finals previews in the next month or so, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.